Today's quakes, Kansas magnitude 2.8. As you can see, it's right under the volcano area. We're going to talk about that. Yes, Kansas has volcanoes. And magnitude 2.7, Tennessee, right there underneath the New Madrid Seismic Zone, New Madrid, Missouri. That Tennessee quake, obviously, is in the New Madrid Seismic Zone. As you can see here, you see on the 1 o'clock position, you have the Great Lakes. That's where we have our mid-continental rift. The western part of that arm of it's like a horseshoe shape. The western arm passes through Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, into Texas, and we're having Texas and Oklahoma quakes today as well. And it turns from Texas into New Mexico. That's the western part. And then the eastern part of that mid-continental rift, the magma plume, it's a magma plume with magma underneath, mantle plume. Very old, it's 880 million years old. One of the first of the Earth is there. So the eastern part goes along the Appalachians, flanking the mountains of the area of New Madrid Seismic Zone, which is actually a rift valley. So this is where the two quakes we're going to look at today. The 2.8, as we see right there, is just below the area of Riley, Kansas, where we have a Kimberlite volcano, and we're going to look at that. Let's look at the maps together so you can have a better idea. Kansas has 15 ancient volcanoes, 3 to the west, 3 to the east of the borders, and 9 in the middle. No, sorry, Voclano, that's wrong. Wrong spelling. Okay, my fingers are faster than my mind sometimes. Okay, this is it right here. This is where we had our, it's a farming area, a very nice little place, and Marion, Kansas. And this is where we had our Tennessee quake 2.7, right, basically flanking the Mississippi River. We know that everywhere we have rivers, and we have rivers there. That one there is on a river too. Rivers are on fault lines, and that's the Mississippi River, as you can see. And just pull out a little bit so we can have a better view. This is it. This is the mid-continental rift. We've talked about this a few times, even though it's not included in the magma maps of the United States, but this is magma underneath. They don't know where it's coming from, but it's there. And the western arm goes this way, this way, this way, this way, and then turns in this way. And the eastern arm goes this way, flanking the mountains. This is New Madrid, Missouri right there. And this is where we had our earthquakes. Oh, the magnitude, the Montreal and the Pennsylvania. You see the pins that I put up yesterday, they're gone already. I don't know why that happens. Okay, here we are. And let's go to our maps. This is it right here. 2.8, Marion, Kansas. Okay, that's the area of Riley, Kansas. Right above that is the, as we said before, Kansas volcanoes. These are various ashes and Kansas volcanic ash resources. But this is it. Kimberlite is unique because it originates over 100 miles or 150 kilometers deep in the earth. We know that 100 kilometers is the depth of the Earth's crust. So deeper than that, of course, they mean lithosphere. So it originates over 100 miles or 150 kilometers deep in the Earth and travels in a matter of hours to the Earth's surface, where it forms small volcanic features. 13 kimberlites have been identified so far, 12 in Riley County and 1 in Marshall County. Okay, 12 in Riley County. 12 kimberlite volcanoes. Maybe every time I look into the volcanoes of Kansas, I find more. I thought we had 3 here, and 9 around here. And now we have 12 in Riley. All right. You know, a lot of people that have heard booms in Kansas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma. They hear booms and they have shaking. Their house shakes from the foundations. It could be because these kimberlites are explosive volcanoes. They're explosive volcanoes, and they have to release volcanic gases. They spew out diamonds, precious and semi-precious gems. So that's it. That's 9 of them around there, as we just read. Okay, 13 kimberlites have been identified so far, 12 in Riley County, 1 in Marshall County. Let's go to this. Where is it? Okay. That's a public publication. Okay. Kansas kimberlites. Diamonds occur in only 2 rock types on Earth. Kimberlites and lamproites, both rare in Kansas. Okay. There we are. That's Riley, and that's Marshall just north of it. So this is Riley and Marshall north of it. Okay. Let's go on to see. Both rare in Kansas. Kimberlite is unique because it originates over 150 kilometers deep. We said in the earth, travels a matter of hours to the surface where it forms small volcanic features. In Kansas, kimberlites or kimberlite pipes, so called because of their pipe-like three-dimensional shape, occur in a restricted northeast trending belt in Riley and Marshall counties, northeast. These rocks were first discovered in Kansas in the late 19th century. Since then, more kimberlites have been found, the last 3 in the fall of 1999. 13 kimberlites have been identified so far, 12 in Riley County and 1 in Marshall County. 6 kimberlites are exposed at the surface. The others are buried under the soil up to 25 feet thick. This circular provides general information about these rare and unusual rocks found in the heartland of the United States. Okay? Kansas Geological Survey publication. This is Kansas Geological Survey publication. So we're not making this up. Let's go back to our map. That's it right there. Shall we go and read the details? I'm sure they're not going to say anything about 21 people reported feeling it. I'm sure they're not going to say anything about, they say about the earthquakes are felt more east of the Rocky Mountains, 10 times more. You can feel it, much broader region. Earthquakes can be felt over an area more than 10 times larger than similar magnitude earthquake west coast. So they don't talk at all about, they talk about man-made earthquakes, induced seismicity. They don't talk at all about the mid-continental rift and the magma, the mantle plume under there. So let's go now to our Tennessee earthquake. That was more shallow. That's shallow as well. 6 people reported feeling it. Of course, it's on the New Madrid Seismic Zone area. New Madrid, Missouri is right there. And it was, okay. Let's see if they have our faults or anything. I doubt it. Even though we said the Mississippi River is the fault. Okay, did you feel it? No. Population? Yes, of course. Okay. That's where it is, right on the Mississippi River, just south of New Madrid, Missouri. New Madrid Seismic Zone and adjacent states is the most seismically active in North America east of the Rockies. During the winter of 1811 and 12, 3 very large earthquakes devastated the area and were felt throughout most of the nation. They occurred a few weeks apart, December 16, January 23, February 7. Hundreds of aftershocks, some severely damaging by themselves, continued for years. The prehistoric earthquakes, similar in size to those of 1811 and 12, occurred in the mid-1400s around 900 AD. Strong damaging earthquakes struck the southwest end of the seismic zone near Marktree, Arkansas, 1843, magnitude 6.3, and the northeastern end of Charleston, Missouri, 1895, magnitude 6.6. Since 1900, moderately damaging earthquakes have struck the seismic zone every few decades About twice a year, people feel still smaller earthquakes that do not cause damage. Earthquakes in the central and eastern United States are typically felt over a much broader region than in the western U.S. East of the Rockies, an earthquake, as we said before, can be felt as much as 10 times larger than a similar earthquake on the west coast. Magnitude 4, U.S. eastern earthquake typically can be felt at many places as far as 60 miles from where it occurred, and it infrequently causes damage near its source. Magnitude 5.5, eastern U.S. quake usually can be felt as far as 300 miles from where it occurred, sometimes causing damage as far as 25 miles out from the epicenter. Okay, so earthquakes everywhere occurred on faults within bedrock, usually miles deep. The earthquakes of New Madrid Seismic Zone occur within a large network of faults called the Real Rift Zone. So actually, the New Madrid Seismic Zone is a rift valley. It should be called New Madrid Rift Valley, from what previous articles explained by geologists tell us. The rift formed about 500 million years ago, when this region was stretched in the northwest-southeast direction along northeast-southwest zone, at least 40 miles wide, 300 miles long. The rocks in the rift were slowly dropped down about 1 mile along some of the faults. Now the region is undergoing east-west shortening, and the ancient faults of the Real Rift are being reactivated to generate earthquakes. Of course, we have an uptick in earthquake activity in this region. Today, the Real Rift and the New Madrid Seismic Zone are 1,200 miles from the nearest plate boundary, which is the Caribbean Sea. Yeah, but you see here, they don't talk at all about the mid-continental rift. They don't talk at all about the fact that we have a mantle plume there. They only talk about the edge of the North American tectonic plate, which is all the way here, Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Oops, Mid-Atlantic Ridge. We're not, the thing is that you've got magma under there too. Many times we talked about that. Magma under there, that's the mantle plume. They don't know where that magma is coming from. Who knows? I mean, you have 30 volcanoes here on the East Coast Seamount, pointing towards Maine. Maine has 5 volcanoes, 4 of them in 100-mile distance. You have the Yellowstone-like super volcano here, which is multi-caldera area. That was an ancient eruption of VI7, VI8. They even found main erupted lava in the British Isles. And they don't talk about the fact that we have the mantle plume, which is stretching. This is the Kowina Fault, and it's stretching this area, stretching it out. And this is the Real Rift Zone right here, which has an uptick in activity, as we just read. The new network of faults in the seismic zone is buried beneath hundreds of thousands of feet of sand and mud. 4 of the largest faults are recognized as alignments of abundant small earthquakes, and movements along 2 of these fault dammed rivers and created lakes during the earthquake of 1811 and 12. A few more deeply buried faults were detected during oil and gas exploration, and a few small faults are known from geologic mapping. However, many earthquakes occur away from few known faults, so there must be additional unknown faults that can generate earthquakes in the seismic zone. Accordingly, the best overall guide to seismic hazard in New Madrid Seismic Zone is earthquakes themselves. So all of you there, please be very careful. We did just ascertain that we had the 9 Riley Kimberlite volcanoes, and we had 9 Riley, wow. 9, 12, 3, I don't know how many there are there, but they're diamond spewing volcanoes. They have some of these in Africa, they have some of these in, they found them recently here. They found them here, Baffin Island. We did an article on that as well. Yeah, Canada has them too, and so does Kansas. So if you have need to, at one point, take up a hobby. And you can look at, there are areas, national parks as well as private lands, that you can go and take a bucket. You pay for hours or days, an hourly rate or a daily rate. They give you some geological hammers and picks and things and a bucket, and you can go and dig around once we are no longer in isolation, and have a nice hobby, and you can keep whatever you find, from what they say. So you never know, it could be a very, very interesting hobby to take up. So that's what's happening there. Yes, Kansas has at least 9 Kimberlite pipes in Riley alone. So I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.